In all of our years here, I've never seen such a desperate, kind of unlawful approach to trying to hide a document. One of the big issues remaining, as I noted earlier in this update, is the questions about Joe Biden's cognitive ability. Now, as you recall from the special counsel investigation into his theft of classified information from the Senate and his taking of classified information as vice president, they declined to prosecute him while still prosecuting Trump because Biden, according to special counsel Hur, H-U-R, had, quote, a poor memory and no jury would ever convict him. Isn't that a convenient out for not prosecuting him? And Judicial Watch sued for the transcript and audios of Hur's interviews with Biden that led to this conclusion, or so he told us. They released the transcript, but they didn't release the audios. And they've been hiding the audios from us, and we're in court now suing for them. And when the transcripts were released, many people suggested that they weren't accurate. And guess what? Judicial Watch forced the Justice Department to admit they weren't accurate. And we followed up this week with 3 federal lawsuits. In addition to the one for the audio of Biden's hearing, of Biden's interviews, we want to know about the effort to alter the transcript and mess with the transcript. And the pressure campaign by the White House and his lawyers, Biden's personal lawyers, to get him to remove the commentary about his memory. And we want the background information on Hur's investigation. Here's the headline. Judicial Watch sues Justice Department for communications with Biden White House regarding edited transcripts of special counsel interviews. In his report, Hur called, his special counsel report, Hur called Biden, quote, a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. We have considered that at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interviews of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Based on our direct interactions with and observations of him, he is someone for whom many jurors will want to identify reasonable doubt. It would be difficult to convince a jury that they should convict him. That's why they didn't prosecute him, or so they say. To me, it was an excuse rather than a reason. But the left was desperate, and the Biden people were desperate to get that memory thing out of there. And as I note in the press release, or we note in the press release, prior to the finalization of the report the special counsel issued, the White House issued a letter to the special counsel's office attacking the report's treatment of President Biden's memory, and added, there is ample evidence from your interview that the president did well in answering your questions. And that's why we want the audio tapes. And we found out the transcripts were doctored. Like the uhs and the ums and the sorts of pauses and things that would have vocal inflections that would have suggested a cognitive issue were deleted from the transcript, according to the senior justice attorney responding to Judicial Watch's lawsuit. I mean, the transcript at the end says the following. Let me show you the transcript page here. Go to the bottom of the document. So that's the transcript, right? And you know, the transcript is transcribed by an official court reporter, so they've got a legal role in this process. Go down further to the last page. The certification. I hereby, DOJ, certify that the foregoing Oh, it could go up a little bit more. I want to be sure that we got this covered. Okay, so there's the transcription, transcriber. Here it is. I certify that foregoing pages 1 through 44 are a true and correct transcript to the best of my ability. Well, that's not true. It wasn't a true and correct transcript to the best of my ability. Go down further, and the rest of the transcript, 45 through 155. Again, a true and correct transcript to the best. It's not true and correct. It was doctored. And that's why we just sued for any and all records of communications between any official employee of the DOJ and any official employee of the executive office of the president regarding the creation, editing, or release of the transcript interviews. And basically a version of that request to the responsible officials. So that's one federal lawsuit. We filed a second one for records about everything that Her had in terms of the basis for the report. So that would be a voluminous request. And then the third lawsuit was, what was the third lawsuit about? Oh, communications about the Her report with the Office of White House Counsel and Biden's personal lawyers. It was a cover-up. We want details of the cover-up. And let me be clear. Transcripts include every utterance by the person who's being deposed and people in the room. And that wasn't done for Biden. Nothing normal about it, and it's part of the cover-up, and this lawsuit aims to get at it. In the meantime, we're in court right now for the actual audios, and they're desperate to hide them from us. They filed a brief the other day. It was kind of crazy. You know, we've been doing this work at Judicial. We're coming up on our 30th anniversary, as I've mentioned, for Judicial Watch this month. I think it's July. I think the anniversary of our founding is the 29th, July 29th, so next week. And in all of our years here, I've never seen such a desperate, kind of unlawful approach to trying to hide a document that's subject to FOIA from us. Executive privilege. They said that the audio can be manipulated by AI and therefore shouldn't be released. That would just blow up FOIA. So they are really desperate to hide this information from us. And as I noted in the release, in my statement, the Biden Justice Department is engaged in a major league cover-up for Joe Biden, hiding audio recordings, altering transcripts, and ignoring FOIA, shows the Biden team is desperate to avoid disclosure about his cognitive condition. So he's still president, and it still matters whether he's A, fit for office, but whether the Justice Department did the right thing and Her made the right conclusions in terms of justifying the decision to prosecute him, again, condoned by Garland, while charging Trump with similar crimes. Now, thankfully, those charges against Trump have been thrown out by Judge Cannon, as I disclosed earlier, or last week to you. But the abuse, the double standards, right? That's what we're aiming to get at. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.